Hello and welcome. My name is Chris, and we're here today with Artist Palette Durham Region, and we are going to paint this super cute gouache painting. I called it Capybaras in Love. And you can change whatever you want to change. So what if instead of roses, you could do maybe daisies. You can change the colors, any of the colors that you see. What if you want to do different animals? You could totally do different animals. And we are going to sketch this together. There is no, pre-sketched outline. We're going to draw it together right here. And we're going to experiment with a new medium. This is, I got this set of gouache paint for Christmas. And it's a medium I've never really tried before. I've been loving it so far. Everyone has always told me it's sort of the in-between of watercolors and acrylics. So I've worked with lots of acrylics before. I've worked with lots of watercolors. This truly is sort of that in-between stage. So you get sort of the opacity of acrylics, but you get the sort of the reusableness of watercolors, in that you can just re-wet it when you want to use it and you're good to go. And of course, you can treat gouache paint as acrylic paint and apply it in sort of a thicker manner, thick like, say, toothpaste. Or you can treat it much like watercolors and apply it in more of like the consistency of juice, like you're painting with juice. Very clear, very watery, see-through. Today we're kind of doing maybe a little bit of both. In that maybe the roses in the heart wreath are more of like a watercolor application, versus like maybe in our capybaras, especially like the bow on either, a little bit thicker, more like acrylic. But yeah, I've been enjoying experimenting with this set that I got for Christmas. Let's look at, the brand is Himi. Probably available on Amazon. It's got 112 colors. Hi, it's gouache. That's so funny. Yeah, and they're heavy. Oh, telephone. Probably my mom, but my husband will get that. Each of these little capsules came sealed. So it kind of like seals in the moisture. But if you just re-wet them, if they've got a little dry, like let's say like this one, I could touch it. It's gotten a little bit drier. It's like touchable. But you can re-wet it like you do watercolors, and then you're good to go. So that's what I've got today. Now, my set did not come with like a color chart or a swatch card, if you will. So I made my own. So this is what I made using the gouache, and I did it in the same order that it is in this set. So if I'm looking for, say, a light green for my painting here, I could just look at the different light greens available and choose one of those, because oftentimes with even acrylic or even watercolor, the paint that you see, the color here, isn't necessarily what it looks like once you put it down on paper. So this is just handy to have if you do have a new set, make one for yourself. And I do sort of like a darker, thicker consistency into a waterier consistency, so I can see what it looks like, both thick and thin, watered down and not so watered down. So that's my little swatch card that I'll have nearby so I can reference it. I've got some more supplies on the screen that you can see. I got watercolor paper. It is a wet medium. We need a paper that can handle all the water. So this is the brand that I use a lot, Canson XL watercolor paper. I always say it's a medium quality for a medium price. There are, of course, so many different brands out there to choose from. I'm doing mine a bit bigger. Mine's 11 by 15 today. This one's like a 9 by 12, so I'll just make it slightly bigger for demonstration purposes. Why not? I've got my pencil and my eraser. We are going to sketch these guys ourselves. Pencil and eraser is handy. I've got a small handful of medium to small paintbrushes. So I would say this is sort of like a medium paintbrush, and these guys are sort of smaller paintbrushes. Even if you just had one single paintbrush, you can do this. I know you can. Just grab that little assortment there. Doesn't matter what shape or what size, just smaller ones. I've got my water and my paper towel to, activate my gouache paint. I brought a little palette, or you can use maybe a plate to just do some mixing in, whether it's to mix two colors together or mix in some extra water. Little palette there. Some optional things. I've got a black sort of Sharpie. It's like a Amazon Basics Sharpie, if you will, to do some outlining, but you don't have to outline it, or you could outline it with maybe colored pencil crayon, or a pen, or not outline it at all. And then I've got a white paint pen if I wanted to add little white highlights, again, optional. I put little white highlights on the bows. I mean, I could add a little white highlight on, say, the noses, optional. And then one more optional thing, which is just handy, piece of scrap paper. I'm just like scribbling on that scrap paper, and a scissor. I'm going to cut out a heart shape to start. That's just easier to make a nice symmetrical heart by cutting one out of paper and tracing it. That's sort of everything that I'm going to use today, but again, some of those things are optional. And if you don't have gouache paint, you can follow along using watercolors, just regular watercolor, even acrylics. You can totally follow along with acrylic paint or anything else. What if you have some lovely colored pencils, pastels, anything at all. I'm going to take a page out of my pad. I like to work with it loose. Now we are live. I am teaching this live, but you are able to pause the live feed, and you're able to rewind. If you need to see something again, you missed something, you can rewind and pause if you need a bit more time. So I'm going to take my scrap paper, even if you just have like an old, I don't know, some coupons nearby, something from the recycle bin, some scrap paper. I'm going to fold it in half. Pardon me. You can just sketch half a heart, or just go right to cutting half of a heart. We've all done this in kindergarten, grade 1, cutting out half of a heart from a scrap of paper. Now your heart has to fit on the paper that you're using, so keep that in mind. Mine's quite big, so I can make a big heart. Any shape, any size. Half a heart. Open it up, see how you did. Is it going to fit on your paper? I've got a big paper. That's pretty good. Nice and big. It's almost exactly like the one I did before. So there's my half of a heart turned into full heart. And you can, round it out a little more or taper it in a little bit more. If you don't have like literally no scrap paper around, no scissors, all you're going to do is sketch with your pencil a heart, a normal heart in the center. Let's go right around there. And I'm gonna do it a little bit light. Do it as light as you can with the pencil. I might do mine a little darker so that you can see it on the camera, but I've got many, many lights on me right now, so it might wash it out anyway. But at home, do your pencil as light as you can for this heart. Okay, I mean, yeah, all the lights make it kind of, here, let's cover that one. There we go. You can sort of see my pencil heart right in the middle there. Nice and big, lots of room for the capybaras in the middle. Lovely. Beautiful. Now we are going to sketch out our capybaras ourselves. There's no, tracer to trace. What I find is very helpful. We already have this heart shape. We know exactly how big our heart is because it's right here in our hands. What if I sketch my first capybara within half of the heart? That way I know it's going to fit. And then when I want to do the second capybara, I can just trace the same one. That way they're like mirror image. So here's my heart. Fold that back in half. We're going to sketch one capybara right there. What would you call that? Like a oval head, an oval head, but at a diagonal. And I want their noses to sort of touch. So when I make that oval, I'm going to put it right at that crease of the heart. Now, if you're not working on a piece of scrap paper like I am, you can sketch this directly, sketch it right here, right on your heart here, on half the heart. So this is an oval head. Not like a football oval, not really like an egg oval, just the standard oval. Oval head. Quite a small body on these guys. It's a cartoon. It's not accurate at all. I'll give it a little neck and two little rounded front legs. And this is pencil. You can erase, adjust. My capybaras are facing away from each other, but their noses are touching. But you can orient them any way you want. This is the back leg, also very rounded, chunky back leg. And then their butts. Their butts are kind of touching. So I'll have the butt of my sketch here touch the crease. Right along the crease. Whoops, that's what erasers are for. So I've got the nose of my capybara touching the crease of my heart, and I've got the butt. Again, too much light. Let's put this light this way. There we go. So oval. These are his two front legs and sort of a big bulbous back leg. Again, cartoon version, not accurate to what an actual capybara looks like. And then, of course, ears. I'm going to have one ear sort of right at the very tippy top of that oval, like the ear of a little teddy bear, little mouse. And then a second ear. This ear's like facing away from us. Maybe a little bit smaller than your other ear, maybe the same size, doesn't matter. And we have erasers. We can erase, adjust anything that doesn't look perfect. And that's really all we need to sort of sketch now. Any features, any accessories that we're going to add, we can add to the paper itself. So here is one capybara. We're going to cut this out. Might as well. Cut it out, and then we'll trace it twice so that they mirror each other. And even as you're cutting it out, you can make small adjustments. Like if your one ear is like a little too big, you could cut it a little smaller. And if you're still working on your sketch, you want a little more time, just press pause. Press pause. And I do this a lot for not just like a gouache painting, any kind of drawing or painting where I need something symmetrical. I'll just sketch it, cut it, trace it twice, thrice, as many times as I need, instead of trying to draw the same exact thing the same exact way. All right, big head, little body on this capybara. And everyone's capybaras are going to turn out different. Maybe your head is longer, bigger, an even smaller body. It would look very much like a bobblehead at that point, I think. Oh my goodness gracious. Phone calls, doorbells. Don't they know I'm teaching? So funny. All right, rounding out the butt of my capybara. The nose. There we go. And even if maybe as you were cutting, you decided maybe you wanted, oh, look at that. I cut it twice. That's okay. I only meant to cut it once, but look at that. I got two. So there is my one capybara. Let's put you over there. Find your middle. Where's that middle? And simply trace it. So with this, like I'm later on going to outline this in black. So it's okay if my lines are a little dark because it will eventually be black. If you're planning on not doing outlines, maybe keep your pencil lines a little lighter just so they're not super duper visible later on. So where's that middle? I think my middle's right around there. I'm going to lightly, normally trace this little paper cutout. And it's, still not too late to, change what animal this is. You could turn this into like maybe a cat or a dog, change the ears to bunny ears. Oh, that's so cute. So there's one left side capybara. So I'm just going to flip it. Take what you have, flip it. So it's a mirror image. And then just trace it again. I'm going to make sure their noses are pretty close together. My butts are touching, but yours doesn't have to. And just give that another little trace. Oh, my butts are a little bit overlapping. I'm not upset about that. And because we, used the heart template, we know for sure that these capybaras fit within the heart. There we are. There's two silhouettes of capybaras. Put that over there. Now we can add more detail with our pencil, like the line for the chin. Let's put that chin line back in, both sides. We could put in sort of a very light line of where the dark brown and light brown sort of meet. So sort of make this sort of like an ovally shape for this snout on both sides. Very light line. It's okay if it's not exactly the same on both sides because probably all capybaras are a little bit different. Everyone's unique in the animal world. We can put sort of where our eye is going to be. My eyes are closed, but you could have an open eye if you wanted to. Closed little, like a half a circle curving down. We could lightly put like where we want our cheek. I'm gonna not. I'm just gonna drop in some pink later on where I'm gonna put a cheek, but you could put a little circle there. I could put in sort of this ear. So these two ears are facing us. So we know, you could see like in the ear. So that's why there's that shape. But those two ears are facing away from us. So I'm actually going to put a line here. That's sort of like their forehead. So we know that those ears are like away from us. What else can I do? I could put in any accessories that I want at this point. So in my case, I've got sort of a pink bow by her ear. Could be a female capybara, doesn't have to be. I've got sort of a bluey green bow by his neck, so it could be a male capybara. Again, doesn't have to be. You could put, you know, double ear bow, double neck bow. What about any other accessory you can think of? A hat, a headband, a necklace. Maybe one of them's wearing a vest. Earrings, other piercings, a scarf because it's winter. Literally anything you want to do, which I would love to do, but I also want to sort of stick with, you know, what I have to sort of demonstrate. I am going to do a cute little bow here. And it could be like any style. My bow has sort of like rounded sort of edges, but you could have a bow that's more like angular. And then I will do a little bow tie, little neck bow tie here on this guy. But again, 2 girls, 2 guys, anything you want. Genderless capybaras is fine. What else could you add here? What other accessories? Maybe a little mini bouquet of flowers, or a little box of chocolates, or a love letter in a little envelope, or maybe the capybaras have a pet cat or a pet dog. Maybe the capybaras are wearing sunglasses because maybe they're on a beach somewhere. What other accessories? Make it personal. Make it like you and your partner or anyone. Anything. Could be like a mother-daughter, cute little cuddle. Anything. Anything at all. Give them personality with their accessories. What else do I want to sketch? I'm going to sketch, well, I got to put in his back leg. His back leg is missing. Put that back in. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I'm going to sketch for mine. The nose and mouth we can do with our marker later on. I'm happy with that. Erase and adjust anything you need to. What I'm going to do now, which I do often, but you might think is a little bit crazy, I am going to lightly erase almost everything, especially the heart. I don't want the heart to be very visible when I'm doing all the floral work around. So I'm literally erasing my line, but I can still see it. I just don't want it super visible later on. Light erase. There we go. Some of these little lines, I'm going to just touch up anything sort of overlapping that I don't need that line anymore. Tidy that up. But again, a lot of a lot of my capybara is going to be outlined in black. So, okay, I'm happy. So this is lighter. See how it's like almost completely gone with the heart. Perfect. It's exactly what I want. Okay. Let's get our water. We've got our gouache paint. I've got my little palette if I need it. Let's get you guys out of here. Now remember, you can choose custom colors, do whatever kind of, any ideas you want. It could be florals, different florals, maybe daisies, maybe mums, maybe different leaves. Customize it. I want to see different stuff. I don't want a carbon copy of mine necessarily. I want to see your style and your personalities in your art. I'm going to start with let's start with leaves. I think leaves are a nice thing to sort of get our painting muscles going. I'm going to choose this is kind of a smaller flat brush. It is a little bit rounded, like sort of a filbert, kind of a roundness. You could do this with maybe something like this, like a thin, smaller, round brush like that. Just something small. We're doing dainty little leaves. Let's have a little peek at these dainty little leaves. Small. Just think small. And I've got so many different colors of green in this particular set. Water on the brush. Let's go with, this is kind of like a nice sort of minty green. If you don't have as wide of a selection and you do want something, you know, custom, and you have like a green, but it's like maybe too bright, and you've got like a blue, you can mix colors together in a palette like this, or a plate, or even the lid of, say, your watercolor tin. Any color can be customized. I'm going to put a bit of this right here, but add a lot of water, lots of water. So in this case, I'm sort of using the gouache as I would a watercolor paint. Pretty watery, like painting with juice. Oh, that's nice. So I'm using a flat brush, but I'm going to hold it, not the wide direction. I'm not doing it wide. I'm turning it so that my leaves are kind of thin, and I want my leaves to sort of go like thin, thick, thin. And I achieve that with less pressure and more pressure. So anywhere on your heart, I'm going to lightly put the paintbrush down for like the start of the leaf. Then I'm pressing, and then I'm letting go the pressure. So a little, and then much more, and then less. And you can kind of like flick it. It's kind of like a press and a flick. Pressing and flicking. Press and flick. And you can go on either side of your pencil line. And they can be curved. They could be different widths. They don't all have to be the same size. Press and flick. And even within a leaf, you might have a darker patch and a lighter patch. That's fine. So I'm going to do like a few here. But then I'm going to skip an area and then leave it blank for now. We're going to have roses there later. I'm going to do some more over here. Press and flick. Press and flick. And it could be very random. It could be just one leaf and then a gap, and then 3 leaves and then a gap, or 8 leaves all bunched together and then a gap. And I like to turn my page as I go around. Now, if you are left-handed, you might want to go the opposite direction that I'm going. I'm going this way. So if you're left-handed, you might want to press and flick this way. Press and flick, and then turn your page. But I'm going to go this way. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Press, flick, light pressure, heavy pressure, light pressure. Leave some gaps here and there. Do some that are slightly thicker, thinner, more curved. They could touch, they could overlap. There's, a few. We're getting there, going around. I'm just doing one color for simplicity's sake. But if you're feeling adventurous, try different colors. Try another shade of green. Try even pink leaves, purple leaves, blue leaves. Make it really unique. Going around, keep going around and around. And if you're using a brush and you're not really loving how the leaves are turning out with that brush, try another brush. Going around and around. The more gaps you leave, the more roses we have room for. But even if you fill in like lots and lots of leaves, less gaps, we can still add roses on top, beside. Going around, almost back to the beginning. But if you need a bit more time, of course, you can always just hit pause, really take your time. The speed just comes with practice, with repetition, doing things over and over again. You get better at them. Look at that. That looks adorably cute and sweet and dainty with just those little brush strokes. Beautiful. Let's let those dry a little bit. We can work on our sort of like our first coat on our capybaras. I'm going to use like a medium brush, something a little bit bigger than what I used for my leaves, just to fill in sort of like bigger areas quicker. Capybaras are brown, but that doesn't mean you have to make brown capybaras. Mine are kind of like a tan, creamy color with darker brown noses. You could do reddish brown, orangish brown, chocolate brown, blue, green, pink. The capybaras of your fantasies can be here on this page. I'm going to do, I've got so many like brownie tans here. Maybe this one. And again, if you don't have a brown that you are interested in, maybe you have like only a chocolate brown and you want something lighter, you can mix it with other colors. Maybe add it with some white or some yellow, some ochre, if you have like a yellow ochre. So sort of got this not quite milk chocolate brown. I might even add, what do I want to add a little bit? I'm not choosing the same color as before. I want something different. Maybe a little, this is like a yellow ochre. Let's try a little bit of that. Mix that together. And I'm adding lots of water. Yeah, That's kind of like a cute lighter brown. That's cute. And they don't even have to be the same color. They could be different colors from each other. That's pretty good. I do want a very watery consistency. I'm going to do the face, the ears, the body. I'm going to leave some space on the nose, that darker snout. I'm going to avoid putting this color there. I'm also going to avoid the feet. Yeah, we'll call them feet. Paws, if you will, because I'm going to add a darker brown to that. So here's my sort of lighter brown, very watery. If a little bit of this color gets on the bow, let's say, it is not the end of the world. When we put the bow color on, it's going to be quite thicker, darker, so it will cover up any, mistakes if we accidentally paint our bow. Look at that. I've already accidentally painted on the bow 3 times already. That's all right. So there is my sort of lighter brown. But yeah, different brown, different color than I used before, because I like to mix it up, change it up. If there's small areas that you need to get into, of course, use a smaller brush. And again, there could be lighter patches, darker patches. It's all right. It's sort of like watercolor in that those little imperfections are what makes the watercolor unique and beautiful. Okay, so there's my lighter brown body. I'm going to do the other capybara. Now, as I'm painting, like I'm kind of painting fast, I'm talking and I'm gesturing. I've already accidentally splashed my picture 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. There's little drips that I've accidentally dripped. It's okay. We're going to add some splashes on purpose later. So that is okay. I'll paint my other capybara. Again, if a little goes on the bow tie, no worries. We are going to outline these later, so that'll help tidy up any messy edges. So there is a quick coat of brown on both of them. I've got the ears. I've got the most of the body, almost all the way down the legs. There we go. And you can see I've got dark patches, light patches. That's okay. Give that a rinse. I'm going to grab a slightly smaller brush. I'm going to get some darker brown, anything that's darker than what you already have on your capybara. What do we got over here? I've got like a chocolate brown way up here that I'm going to bring in. I might even bring in that chocolate brown and mix it right into that color I have. So that way I know it's darker because I've just darkened it. So there's like a chocolatey, darker brown. And I'm going to do the snout of both of them. Still quite watery. And it's okay for this darker brown to touch this lighter brown, and then maybe a little bit of it sort of blends in with that, kind of spreads into it a little bit. Just as long as most of that dark brown kind of stays in that snout region. And I'll get those little feet. Again, some of that will touch the other wet color and spread a tiny bit, or even a lot. That's okay. Maybe they're like a special species where there's really dark leg patches. footies. And we're gonna add some marker. It'll help tidy things up. Especially if maybe you can't tell where one foot ends and the other begins. That's fine. The marker will help clarify that. Yeah, so I mean, even a little bit of this is kind of spreading into this body part. You can even just kind of wipe it, pick it up with your brush, wipe it off if it bothers you. Okay, while this is still wet, so everything's still very, very wet, I am going to dab in a little pink in the cheeks. So these cheeks are quite bright pink. What if I go with a softer pink? I've got all kinds of pinks here. I've got pinky purples. Even a red cheek would look cute. What would be nice? Maybe this one. Yeah. And let me make like a little wet puddle over here. Lots of water. A little dab. Where would the cheek be? Right? Maybe here. One dab or two. And I do sort of want it to spread a little bit, so it has to be wet on wet. Yeah, it's already starting to kind of move where it wants to move. Everything's shiny, glossy. You can kind of coach it a little bit in where you want it to go and spread. But it is sort of acting like watercolor would in that it goes where it wants to go. Yeah, even if it spreads like a huge, very rosy cheek, I think that looks cute. And yeah, we've got dark noses, dark feet, and rosy cheeks. Yeah, look, if you look really close, look at these accidental splatters are already made. That's why a lot of my art has on purpose splatters on it. I think it adds character too. All right, our leaves. Leaves are nice and dry. Even if one or two leaves are still a little wet, we can work on our roses. I love making roses with watercolors, with acrylics even, but with gouache, it's almost the exact same thing. I'm going to get a little scrap. Where's a scrap paper? There's a little scrap from before. If you have a scrap to practice one or two roses before we go right to it, get a smaller paintbrush, something like that. All right. Hello to Melinda in the chat. And there was also a question if they are late. So even right now, you can rewind to the very beginning of this video. You can rewind right now. And yes, it is also going to be up on our channel forever. After this live stream is ended, it just directly goes to the page to rewatch anytime. All right, we're going to do a practice rose on a scrap. What's a beautiful color? I did enjoy that pink that I just used in the cheeks. Let's do a little of that. Still lots of water. I'm still sort of treating it as watercolors. When I'm doing roses, I think of the letter C. So first I'll do like a little dab, any little dab, like a little dab. And then around that little dab, I'll do some C shapes. Even if it touches, that's fine. There's a couple C shapes, but then around those C shapes, you could do more C shapes. And even if they touch each other, that's fine. And then around those, some more letter C shapes. And it gets bigger and bigger. The key is leaving white gaps. You need to have the gaps to kind of hint that this is a rose. And I know this isn't like super realistic rose. It's the impression of a rose. And some C shapes could be short, and some could be long and like all encompassing, or it could just be like a little bloop. See how there's all different C shapes and an extra drip from somewhere. Let's do another one. I'll do another one in a different color just for funsies. Do a little practice on a scrap. A little dab, just any little dab. Tiny C shape. Tiny, then a little bit bigger. And it doesn't have to be like a nice looking C shape. It could be like a wiggle. More like a M. But we're curving around and they get a little bigger, maybe a little thicker. Yeah, so there is a tip link. Thank you for the question. In the description down below here, you'll see a link to our Facebook group and also a link to my PayPal. I do appreciate the thought of a tip. Thank you so much. So there is two very blobby. If you look at it up close, you're like, what is that supposed to be? But if you do a bunch of them all together, it looks like roses, and we can do different colors. What are your favorite colors or your partner's favorite colors? What do I have here? I've got a couple shades of pink, sort of a bubblegum pink, and sort of that pink I was just using just a second ago. I also have teal. Look at teal roses. That doesn't exist, but I liked the look. And it kind of ties in with like this teal bluey green tie. So think about maybe what color you're going to do the accessories, any other accessories you have. Tie in some of those colors in the roses. Oh, look at my cheeks are really spreading out. These guys kind of stayed kind of tight. These guys are really spreading. That's okay. I'm going to do more of that pink that I was just using. In any of the gaps, anywhere. I'm starting sort of over here, but if you're left-handed, you might want to start like over here. Up to you. Little dab, little C shape, little C shape. Leaving white gaps as big as you want or as small as you want. So there is, we'll keep that one about that size. There is one tiny little rose. Your brush strokes could be thicker than mine. Sometimes I like to do sort of thicker ones on the outside. Thicken up the outside a little bit. And that's just one. We're going to do 10 more of this color, then do 10 more of another color. And just work your way around. Big ones, small ones. They can definitely overlap each other. The colors can touch and become like a two-toned rose. It could overlap a leaf. It could go like behind a leaf. And try different sizes. Try making like the smallest one you can. And again, I'm probably going to turn and turn and turn my page as I go around. But with repetition, you're going to be able to make them faster and more carefree, more organic, just kind of letting it happen. I'm not overly thinking about each brush stroke. I'm just kind of letting it happen. If there's like one or two bad ones in the bunch, no one's going to really focus on those. They're going to just look at the overall effect of beautiful florals. Rotate. And this is like a great time. You could put on some music, put on maybe a show you've been binging in the background. Because making these roses is kind of a little bit zen, kind of relaxing. You don't have to listen to me jabbering on about nothing. So there's, I kind of went sort of once around, but what if I want to do like a little tiny baby one next to this big mama one? What about, think about around versus inside the heart, kind of balance inside and outside the heart. Yeah, and then whenever you're ready, different color, something else, something different. I'm gonna go with maybe like a purple. What do I got in the purple department? This is kind of a cute purple. Again, very watery. You can bring it to your palette, add some more water to it. So this purple one and these pink ones, they were still wet, so it touched them, and a little of the purples going in the pink. I love it. I love those sort of accidental, on purpose, new colors being formed. And don't compare yours to mine, because I've been doing these for a while. And if this is your very first time, don't be so critical of each tiny little flower. Look at the big picture in the end. And I think you'll find you'll be surprised at yourself. And comparison, what is the phrase, is the thief of joy. If you're having a fun time making these, don't worry that they don't look like these. They look like your flowers in your world. I think I want to make some tiny small ones. a little baby one here. And I can always go back and add in a few more of this color at the end if I feel like I need, you know, one or two more of this particular color. Okay, that's pretty nice. We got the pinky dusty rose. We've got like a light, call that lilac maybe. I'm thinking about yellow. I think I need like a little splash of something bright. I think yellow might be my next color, but you choose the color that you prefer. I'm going to go with, there's so many lovely yellows here. I'm going to go with this one. Get a little of that. Where do I have room? Let's put it right. I mean, that should be dry. Yellow or like a yellowy orange or let's go right here. And I'm putting like my first bit of yellow down and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, maybe I want it a little bit more orangey. So I can just grab some orange. Let's grab some of this sort of lighter orange. Throw that in there. I might like that better, like an orangey, yellowy. It kind of reminds me of like a creamsicle. And I could just kind of paint right on some of that yellow. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so I mean, now it's more of an orangey, but I like that better. Yeah, still a nice bright pop. Yeah, I like how those complement each other. And we're starting to fill in more. I'm at my third color of rose. So it is starting to get a little bit more full. You could probably do 4 colors without it looking overly crowded. But I think I'll stick with 3 colors. Just keep it simple. I've got all different sort of groupings. I've got groupings of 1, groupings of 2, 3. There's a group of 4 there. Precious, so precious. Where should I go? Maybe in here. So I have gone all the way around with 3 different colors of roses. All my gaps are filled in, but like I might look around and decide, okay, do I need another pink one here, another purple one there, just to balance it. If, you know, maybe you don't know if it's off balance, maybe hold your paper further away from you, like way over here, or stand up, take a step back, and then you'll see, okay, I'm missing a purple over here. I need maybe a pink over there. Let's go. And it doesn't have to be you know, each cluster doesn't have to have each color. Like this is just one by himself. This guy's just by himself. That's fine. Maybe a little cutie patootie. I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, so again, the overall picture looks very, very floral, looks very detailed, looks very composed. But if you look at any one particular flower, it looks like a little tornado. Like, what the heck? Like this guy, like, I don't know what happened there. He's kind of like a blob. Well, that one's, I think that first one where I was actually putting a lot of thought and effort to that first one, that one turned out pretty good. But yeah, and all it takes is practice, 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 repetition, doing these a lot. Do a whole page of practice roses in your sketchbook one day. Just do different colors, different sizes. Cute. Cute, cute, cute. Love that. Now these guys are getting drier. That's good. I'm gonna do their bows, their accessories. If you have a hat on yours, paint it the color of your choice. If you have a necklace, paint that. I'm gonna do my bows like a little bit thicker paint, just so that it covers up any brown that got on it. Just make it stand out a little more. I'm gonna do, I did like that pink that I've been working with. Yeah, I think I'll just kind of continue that color scheme with the same pink. But I'm gonna do a little bit thicker. So it still has water mixed in, but it's creamier, if you follow. And it's not too late to add other accessories if you want to suddenly add pirate eye patch. I don't know what you guys are into. Shoes, I don't know. Anything you can think of to personalize your capybaras. So that is pink. Like a sort of like a tealy, bluey green. I might just use the same green I did for the leaves. Maybe. Just to kind of tie in those colors. If it's not perfect, if it's a little lumpy, we're going to outline this in marker. That'll tidy things up. Well, that's looking cute. Yeah, the orange kind of really pops. I like that addition. This one, very cute, very dainty and sweet with the pinks, but I like this pop of color. Love that. Lovely. I do want those to dry just a tiny smidge. I am going to add like a little bit of like shading to them in half a second. While we let that dry for a teeny tiny little bit, I want to show you some upcoming events with me, Chris. Oh, the first one's actually in this book. So in addition to doing these free ones on our YouTube channel, we do also offer paid tutorials. The next one for me, really fun. What is the date? February 27th is when I'm going to release this one. So at the end of this month, a little ways away. Dinosaurs. I had a dream about dinosaurs, and after I woke up, I felt like I had to paint some dinosaurs. So here is just a few examples. So we've got a Stegosaurus in blue, and then I did another Stegosaurus in purple. And then, what would you call that? Like a Brontosaurus in sort of green and orange. Some pinks and greens there. And here's some examples of, what would you call that? Like a T-Rex and a baby. T-Rex and a baby. So on February 27th is when I'm going to release the video for these dinosaurs, and I'll walk you through doing one of each type. So one Stegosaurus, one Brontosaurus, and one T-Rex. And then you can turn it into, you know, multiple if you want to do different colors of the same one, or facing different directions, because yeah, different directions. And then as a bonus in that tutorial, I'm going to show you how I turned these into a digital collage. So when you go to our website and you see this event, you'll see all of these dinosaurs in one image when you get that ticket, because I've turned it into a digital collage. So I take photos of each of these, and I'll walk you through, you know, how to select and then copy and paste it all together, and you can have them like overlapping. And then what I did was I ordered a pillow cover with some of these images on it. Now, it hasn't arrived yet, but I'm hoping that that pillow cover will be in my house for when I film the tutorial. So then you can see what you can do from, you know, a painting that you've made to a product, mug, pillow cover, you know, put it on a t-shirt kind of thing. Because yeah, it's so easy to do once you know how to do it. You're going to be making mugs for everyone in your family with your art on them. That's my prediction. So if you are interested in learning about how to first paint these watercolor dinosaurs and then turning that into a digital thing that you could produce a product with, get a ticket to my event. So our website is artistpaletterm.com. You're going to see all the different virtual events available, and that will be released February 27th. And then let me show you one other thing coming up. Now, this one is so brand new, it's not even on our website yet, but it will be on the website soon. I call it Happy St. Patrick's Day. Ta-da! So for St. Patrick's Day, but it's a cat. Get it? This one is also a paid tutorial, watercolor, and a little bit of colored pencil crayon to give us those stripy stripes. So this one will be a video released on March 13th, just in time for St. Patrick's Day. So look for this St. Patrick's Day tutorial on the website very soon. If you enjoy doing our free events here on YouTube Live and you want to support us, as I mentioned earlier, we do have tip links, but a better way to support us is to get tickets to our paid events. That way it's a win-win. Win-win. You're supporting us. You're getting more instruction, more tutorials, more ideas to get those creative juices going. How's our bows doing? Pretty good. Yeah, you have to support your favorite online artists who are sharing their work with you to continue that. Like if no one bought tickets to our events, if we never got tips, we would stop doing all these free ones. And that would be a sad day. Getting dry. So mine's sort of dry. It's not 100% dry. I want to add a little bit of darker, whatever color you've chosen. So I've chosen pink. So like a darker pink or a red. I've got like a green. So I could do like a bluey green. If you've done like a yellow, add a little, maybe a little light orange, just something darker than what you already have. So I've got, I'll just take some red, add it to my pink, and that way I know it's darker. And I'm going to add a little swoosh of this on the bottom of my bow, the sort of like the three parts of the bow, bottom and right side. So I'm picturing, in my case, the light source is maybe coming from this direction, which is actually where my light is. Where's my example? Where'd it go? There we go. Lost the page. Yeah, so a little darker on the bottom, and on the right. A little darker. It's pretty subtle. Only if you're really looking for it is people going to see it. So that's a little darker, and then I'll get a little blue or a darker green. Something darker. A little more dark. Again, I'll do it along the bottom and the right side. For any accessory you've got, if you've got a hat on the head, do a little bit darker along the bottom of the hat and along the right side of the hat. Or what else? You did a pet cat. Do a little bit darker along the bottom and along the right side. Anything. An envelope, a chocolate box. Anything. So it's a little darker. Good. I am going to let that dry a second. While it's drying, I might as well start outlining some things. I've got my Sharpie. If you have maybe a black marker, pen, pencil crayon, even maybe a black pastel could be kind of like a cool effect. Or no outline, that's fine too. It just tidies things up, I think. So let's outline things, go over our pencil lines. We need to add the nose and the sort of mouth. Cute. I'm avoiding the bow. The bow is still very, very wet. Let's go around. You could even outline with more paint in a darker color and a steady hand. Doesn't even have to be black. What if you want to outline this in purple or blue? Anything's possible. Yeah, see how it's mostly outlined. It's not fully outlined yet, but it's popping more off the page, to me at least. I think it's more vivid with an outline. Well, that's just me. Yeah, you can see all the, the little imperfections of the water and the pigment as it dried. So like this cheek, it used to be round, but now it's kind of squidgy over here. There's that little kind of lighter blob there. Here's like a darker patch. Not a problem. It gives it, homemade vibe. Not AI, not digital. I made this with my 2 hands this evening. Cute. I'm going to give them little noses, little mouths, very reminiscent of when you're a kid drawing a cat nose and a cat mouth, kind of like a letter J and a backwards J for like the lips. And then I think their noses kind of remind me of like a very skinny little heart, kind of like a heart, 2 little nostrils together. If you do it like right at the very end here, it's like they're touching their noses together. 2 nostrils. I filled in my nostrils black, but you don't have to. And then like a long letter J, right? Could be, so my little guy's lips are little cute ones, but it could be more of a swooping curve, more of a wider smile. Yeah, cuties. Oh, cuties. Just so simple. Kind of serene. Okay, these are still, that one's wet. This one's dry. I can do a little outlining of this one while it's getting drier. Yeah, whatever accessory you made, give it some more outline, more detail. Makes it like stand out more with the outline. What else could I add? I mean, I could do like eyelashes on my, my girl. That doesn't mean that boys don't have eyelashes. I mean, that's an option. Yeah, go either way with that. It's just dry enough that I could outline it. That's precious. Yeah. Any other details you want to add with the marker? Go ahead. Maybe names. We could have some beautiful handwritten names here, maybe here, curving around here. Maybe a phrase, some kind of a phrase. Is there any capybara puns we could come up with to do with Valentine's Day? Capybara is a hard word to throw into a pun. Capybara. I can't capybara live with that. No, it's hard. Capybara. No, I got nothing. But like a cute, lovey-dovey phrase would really be nice. Now I'm going to add the white highlight first, then I'm going to splash. That's what I'm going to do. So I have a paint pen. I love these. Or you could use white acrylic, white gouache, because like with white watercolor, it wouldn't work because it's see-through, but white gouache is thick. So the highlight will work if you use a white gouache. I've got this amazing white paint pen. What else could you use? Like a whiteout pen. There's a product called Bleed Proof White. That would work. I'm going to do a little highlight on the bow. So the highlight is on the top and the left. So the top of the bow and the left of the bow, because the shadow was on the bottom and the right. Other places you could put a highlight would be like maybe the ears, both the ears, the tops and the rights, top of the nose, top of the forehead, optional, forehead, nose, ear, the sort of the right side of her head, right side of her leg, top of this leg. This is all optional. I didn't do that on this one. Yeah, just adds like a little bit more 3D quality to it. That's just me. Okay, now I'm going to splash because I love the splashes. I think it adds, what does it add? Magical dust. Little splashes. So I am going to use colors that are already in the painting. It just makes sense to use those colors. Now I am going to move this out of the way because I don't want more splashes. Then I'm going to get sort of like a medium brush, or even if you have a larger brush, same colors we've been using. So this pink, very watery. And it's up to you how much is the right amount of splashes. All right, get out of here, all you stuff. So sometimes I tap my brush against my own finger, and it gives me tiny little mist, tiny little drops. And it's okay if some of them land on the capybaras. So I've already got some on them. Tappy tap tap. Some pink. So that just gives you delicate little drips. I'm going to get some of this orange going again. Lots of water again. Bigger drops, only if you want them. I kind of hurl my brush at my page and stop short like I'm flicking a magic wand. But only if you want bigger, more energetic splashes. Not even like purposefully get the capybaras. Get it? Yeah. some orange, a little bit bigger. And that might be like the perfect amount for you. Might stop right there. Do I want purple? Purple. Watery, watery purple. And you can sort of aim, but it kind of goes wherever it wants to go. Okay, I mean, that might be too much for your taste, but I love it. I am going to stop there. I feel like I've got the perfect amount. I'm going to sign my painting. I like to kind of put my signature kind of in amongst the design. So maybe I'll use pink, so it's kind of subtle. Maybe I'll do it right in here. I like to just do the initials. The old initials. You could put the year, you could put your whole like autograph. Just right there. Got the initials there. What else could you do with this? We could have a phrase around, some beautiful sentiments around there in marker, in pen, in paint, names, special dates, like an anniversary date or year. What else? A poem, a beautiful poem. You could cut this out, put it against like another paper, like a colored piece of paper. What about, what are those things with the kind of lacy pattern? Doily, like a paper doily. Have cut it out, maybe have some kind of a paper doily behind it. Frame it as a gift, hang it up. Take a picture, put it on a mug, put it on a pillowcase, make bookmarks, make some cute capybaras in love bookmarks. I would love to see that. What else could we do with that? Make a mini version, like a teeny version, put it on a card. Make a whole family, make a family one with little baby ones next to them. I'd love to see that too. Are there any questions for me before we wrap up the live stream? Again, this video will be available on our channel forever. As soon as this stream ends, it's going to be right up there immediately, so you can go back, rewatch anything that you need to see again. Yeah, any questions? We've got our Facebook page, Artist Palette Durham Region. Message us there. Comment on this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and then you'll get notifications when we're going live next. Check out our website, artistpaletedurham.com, for all of our upcoming paid and free events. We appreciate tips. That's what keeps us going. I just spend it on more art supplies. And we also like suggestions of what you would like to paint or draw in the future. You know, what mediums you want to learn about and try. This is a newer one for me, gouache, but in this particular application, quite like watercolors. And I'm loving it so far. All right, I don't see any questions rolling in. So I think we're good. Again, message us, email us with your questions. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I had a great time tonight. I hope everyone has a very loving Valentine's Day, whether that's with a partner or with friends, maybe at Galentine's events. Those are fun. And we'll see you next time. Take care. Happy painting. Bye now.